Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending today's webinar on selecting the proper mist collector for your machine tool. I'm Aaron Grell, and I'm the National Product Manager for Air Filtration Systems for LNS America. I've been with LNS for almost 3 years now. With me today is my moderator wingman, Brandon Dabney, who's our product specialist for air filtration systems, and he will be answering any questions that you may have during the presentation. So why is selecting the proper mist collector for your machine tool important? Well, it's pretty much all about airflow. Not enough airflow doesn't clear the mist. And if you have too much airflow, then you're going to ingest too much coolant into the mist collector, and that could have an adverse effect on your filter life. So we're trying to balance the airflow for optimal performance. So mist collector selection based on cabin size, industry guidelines is to refresh the cabin 4 to 6 times per minute. You can go a little less on lighter applications and a little more on extreme applications like high pressure coolant or anything that's going to generate a lot of mist. You can also decrease that number as the cabin sizes increases. Please see below example for a large machining center. So if we have a cabin that is 20 feet by 10 feet by 6 feet, we're going to reduce that number by 20% to accommodate for the spindle, and you get 960 cubic feet of cabin volume. So 960 times a refresh rate of 2 gives you 1920 cubic feet per minute airflow requirement. So with 1920 CFM, that leads us to our WM 2500 mist collector. So our Fox WM series has 3 sizes ranging from 2350 CFM all the way up to 7050 CFM. So we have our single WM 2500, we have our double unit, which is our WM 5000, and then we have our triple unit, which is our WM 7500. Each WM 2500 is going to be a 2 or 3 stage system. So we're going to have a pre-filter, which is going to filter out your large particles at the bottom, and then you have your main filter, which is going to filter out your medium to small size particles. And after that, you're going to get 99% clean air. And you can also add an optional HEPA filter, which will get you to 99.95% clean air. Each WM has a pressure gauge to monitor each filter stage. So as the pressure drop increases, this indicates that the filters are getting more contaminated. We have left, right, and rear inlets, and we have a front filter access panel to be able to easily change your filters within 10 minutes. So let's do another one on a smaller lathe. Again, industry guidelines is to refresh the cabin 4 to 6 times per minute. So if we have a lathe that has a cabin size of 6 feet by 3 feet by 4 feet, again, we're going to take out 20% of that to accommodate for the turret. It's going to give you 58 cubic feet of cabin volume. So we're going to use a refresh rate of 5 this time, since it's a smaller cabin, and then that will give you 290 cubic feet per minute as your airflow requirement. 290 CFM is going to lead us towards our WS2 330 mist collector. So our Fox WS2 series, we have 5 sizes ranging from 168 CFM to 1248 CFM. Our WS2 series is going to be a 3 or 4 stage filtration system. Again, the pre-filter is at the bottom, and it's going to filter out your larger particles. And then we have a second maintenance-free centrifuge stage, which is going to spin out some of the smaller particles into larger particles, and that will fall out. And then we have our third stage, which is our main filter, and that's going to produce 99% clean air. And then we also have an option for a HEPA filter to put on top of the mist collector, and that will give you 99.95% clean air. Each of the WS2 mist collectors are going to have a differential pressure gauge to monitor each filter stage. We also have a motor starter to protect the motor from current overloads. We have dual inlets to provide flexibility for mounting, and the V-shaped bottom helps promote drainage. We have easy maintenance within 10 minutes for changing the bottom pre-filter and the top main filter. And then next on to filter selection. So we have two different types of filters that will work based on your machining needs and the coolant that you select. So emulsion filters will only work with water-soluble coolants, and there is a visible difference between the emulsion filter and the oil filter. The oil filter is designed to perform in oil applications. We have 5 different mounting options to be able to provide you with the best mounting option that's going to work for your facility and your layout. We have an option to mount on top of an LNS chip blaster high pressure coolant system. We have a vertical stand. We have a machine top mount. We have a mount to be able to mount on top of your LNS turbo chip conveyor. And then we have a stand on wheels. So a few performance tips to ensure that your mist collector is going to run at optimal performance. Ensure that you have a proper P-trap. So the absence of a trap on the drainage tube and the lack of preloading the P-trap prevents collected liquids from being evacuated from the unit. So basically, you have back pressure in your system and the mist collector just fills up with liquid instead of draining. The lifespan of the filters could be seriously jeopardized by continuous use of the unit if the drainage trap is not created. There are a few different ways that you can create a P-trap. You can just create a 6-inch loop that is 6 inches down from the mist collector, or you can create a 6-inch S-trap with the P-trap bracket that we provide in our installation kit. Another installation issue that we run across once in a while is having droops in the inlet hose. And having droops in your flex hose allows coolant to collect in the low point of the flex hose, and over time that will choke off your airflow and your mist collector won't be able to clear the mist. We supply the full length of inlet duct for each mist collector, but that can be trimmed back to the size for your particular application. One other point that we should add is have the clamp facing up, and that will help seal the hose in the best possible manner to avoid leaking. And if you do have a long stretch of hose, we also have hard pipe kits that can be used for those long stretches. Something else that will help with the performance of your mist collector is to install the inlet port as far away from the spindle as possible. And again, that's not always possible, but if you do have the option, install it as far away from the spindle as possible. This will reduce the amount of bulk fluid getting sucked into the mist collector, and it also draws the mist away from the door when the machine operator is going to open up the door. Installing a splash guard will reduce the amount of bulk fluid entering the airstream, as well as prevent chips from entering into the mist collector. Adding an airflow regulator will help fine-tune the mist collector airflow for that particular application, which can help optimize filter life. Something else that will help with improving the longevity of your mist collector is to turn off the mist collector when the machine tool is not in use. Changing the pre-filter more often than the main filter can extend the life of the main filter. Wipe out the mist collector cabinet with each main filter change and inspect the drain line for blockage. If there's any chips in the way, this could prevent the liquid from draining out of your system. We have over 15,000 air filtration systems installed worldwide, and we also have a mist collector matrix that we've developed with over 60 OEMs to help with your mist collector selection assistance. So feel free to reach out to myself or your regional sales manager to help with sizing the mist collector for your particular machine. And now I'd like to open it up for questions. Brandon, do you have any questions that we could answer?
We don't have any questions that we can answer at the moment. But if anyone has any lingering questions, please feel free to go ahead and ask them.
If there's anything that you can think of after this presentation is over, feel free to reach out to myself and we will answer them the best we can. Thank you for your time. We will be sending out a copy of this presentation as well as the other webinars that have taken place this week. That will all be sent out next week.